Hey guys, today we're going to be making this super cute little beanie. So what you'll need today to make this beanie is a crochet hook. I'm using a 5mm, but it really doesn't matter what size you use as long as it kind of goes with the weight of your yarn. A good rule of thumb is the thinner the yarn, the smaller the knitting, the smaller the crochet hook. And I like to choose something that's kind of a medium thickness and something kind of glossier so it's easy to work with. So we'll go ahead and make our first knot to start off our chains. So we're going to take the tail of our yarn and hold it in between our thumbs, and we'll take our pointer finger and make a loop. And then from here we'll reach our finger inside and kind of pick up that little loop we made. And we'll tie it like that. I'll show it one more time because this knot's kind of tricky to start off with. So we've got our tail, we're holding the ends like this, and then we'll take our pointer finger, make that little loop, reach our finger inside so we can pick up that little tail. And then we tighten it like that. Okay, and now we'll take our crochet hook, we'll insert it into the hole, tighten it up, and we're going to chain 45. So to chain, if you're a beginner, you'll take, I like to hold my yarn like this to make it easier to work with, and you'll wrap it around and then pull through that loop you made. That's a chain 1. So we're going to chain 45, so I'll show another one. Around, through the hoop, around, through. So to count your chains, you see these little V's that it's making? That's how you count them. So 1, 2, 3 chains. So I'll show a couple more. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Right, so I'll meet you guys back up here when you have 45 chains. All right, so now that we've finished those 45 chains, we're going to start our first row. So again, each stitch is this little V shape that you see. That counts as one stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So what we're going to do for our first row is we're going to find the second stitch. So here's the first one, here's our second, and we're going to do one single crochet in it. So we're going to insert our crochet hook into that loop in the middle, this little gap that you see right here. We're going to wrap our yarn around and pull through. And then we'll wrap around and pull through both loops. And that is a single crochet. So we'll do a single crochet in this next loop that we see. So we'll insert our hook, wrap around, pull through that first loop, wrap around, pull through both. So those are 2 single crochets. This is our next loop that we're going to work in. So we're going to insert, wrap around, pull through, wrap around, pull through both. So right now we have 3 single chains, or 3 single crochets. And to count that, we can flip to the top and count 1, 2, 3 little V's. So we're going to be doing 5 single crochets in total. So we've got our 3 done. Here's that next loop we're going to work in. We'll insert our crochet hook, wrap around, pull through, wrap around, pull through both. That's 4. We're going to do one more. Insert, wrap around, pull through, wrap around, pull through 2. So we've got our 5 single crochets. We can count that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So for the remainder of all of our chains, we're going to be doing a double crochet. So to do a double crochet, it's pretty similar to a single one, but instead of just inserting our hook right away, we're going to wrap it first. So we've wrapped our yarn, then we're going to insert, wrap, pull through, and then we're going to wrap around again. We're going to pull through the first 2 loops, wrap around, pull through the last 2. So you see how we've got a bigger stitch here than these. So we're going to do another double crochet into the next one. So we'll wrap around, insert. Sometimes when your stitches are pretty tight, it can be kind of hard to find that little loop. Insert, wrap around, pull through, wrap around, pull through 2, wrap around, pull through 2. So there are our 2 double crochets, and we're going to keep doing double crochets for the rest of until we get to the very end of our stitches. So I'll do 1 or 2 more of these with you, and then I'll meet you when you reach the end of your row 1. So we'll do another double crochet, wrap around, insert into that loop, wrap around, pull through, wrap around through both, wrap around through both. I'll do 1 more with you. So we'll wrap around. Here's our next stitch. Wrap around, pull through, wrap around, pull through 2, wrap around, pull through 2. All right, so I'll meet you when you reach the end of your row 1. All right, so I'm just about to do my last stitch here. So I'm going to wrap around, go through that loop, wrap around, pull through 2, pull through 2. So I finished that last stitch. Here's that little knot at the end. So what we'll do after our last double crochet of the row is a single crochet. Or we're just going to chain one actually. So wrap around, pull through that loop. And we finished our first row. So from here, you're just going to take your work and you're going to flip it so that the tail is going to be pointing to the right. And so to start this next row, we've already chained 1, so we're going to do double crochets all the way until the last 5 here. And as you'll see, the reason why we're just doing single crochets here instead of double crochets is so that you see in this hat how the top gets a little bit smaller. It's to narrow the hat, so instead of having it be more of a box, it'll make that rounded shape. So those are the 5 single crochets that are helping the hat round at the top. So anyway, so we're going to do our double crochets all the way until we get to the last 5 stitches, and we'll do single crochets here. So to do our next double crochet, it's the same thing as before. So we're going to wrap around, and the next stitch is right here, you can see. So wrap around, we'll insert, wrap around through the first 2 and then through the last 2. And then another important note is when you're inserting your hook, you want to make sure to pick up both strands of that V at the top. You don't want to just grab, if I can even do it, like one strand of the V. You don't want to split the V. So wrap around, get both strands of the V, wrap around, pull through 2, wrap around, pull through 2. And we're creating that nice little edge there. Wrap around, insert, wrap around, pull through the first 2, wrap around through the next 2. All right, so I'll go ahead and meet you when you have finished all your double crochets up until the last 5. Alright, so I've done all my double crochets. You'll see your work starting to become thicker. And then let's count. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I need one more double crochet around through that loop, around to pull through, around for the first 2, around through the last 2. Whoops. And if you kind of lose your stitch like that, like I just did, you'll just want to hang on to that last stitch you finished, insert your hook, and then you just start over. No big deal. Around, through, around, pull through those. Okay, so we have 5 stitches left, and these are going to be our single crochets. So we already did single crochets, but to review, we're not going to wrap first. We're just going to insert, wrap, insert, pull through 2. Insert, wrap, around, pull through 2. Alright, we've got 3 more to go. So insert, around this 2. Insert, wrap around through 2. And our last one here. This one can sometimes be tricky. Whoa. Okay, so we got it. We're gonna wrap around 2. So we've reached the end of row 2, and as you can see, the single chains are a lot thinner than the double chains. So yeah, that's a good way to tell visually when you need to do your single crochets. So at the end of the row, we're going to chain 1, and then flip our work. So the tail is now to the left, and we're going to do our 5 single chains, and then the rest are going to be double crochets, or our single crochets. Oops, I keep messing that up. Single crochets, 5 single crochets, the rest are double crochets. And really guys, that's the whole pattern. So you're just going to keep repeating this 5 single crochet, double crochet pattern until you reach, until it can reach around your head. So the way this hat works is, so it'll line up like this. So single crochets here, and then my camera angle is kind of crazy, but it'll line up like this. So we're working kind of vertically on the hat, and we'll fill it out like this. So once you you can wrap this part around your head, whatever size that might be, that's when you know your hat's done. And then I'll meet you back at the end when your hat is long enough, and I'll show you how to finish up your hat, and then how to stitch up the sides, and how to tie up the top. So I will meet you when you have done enough rows to wrap around your head. Okay, I'll see you then. Alright, so I think I finished all the rows I'm going to need to fit my head. So I'll go ahead and measure this for you guys real quick, so you can maybe use this as a guide. So this hat is about 18 inches wide across the bottom, and about 12 inches tall. And it's a good thing to keep in mind that we're going to end up folding this hat a little bit to make it fit your head a little bit better. So anyway, I'm going to teach you how to sew up the sides. So what we're going to do is we're going to line up the edges of our hat, these corners, and I always like to end my last row on this corner where we're still double crocheting and not the top where we're doing single crochets. You can do it either way, but I found that if I leave off at this end, I can sew up this whole seam and cinch up the top in one go. Just makes it easier. Okay, so from here, we've got this tail on this side, and what we're gonna do is insert our crochet hook in this little loop we made. It can be a little tight, so it might take a minute. Okay, And this little short string, we're just gonna hold right here off to the side. And we're gonna take our working side, working yarn, and we're going to wrap around and then pull through both. And we've just connected both of our sides for our hat. And we're gonna line up these stitches again. So these V's kind of line up at the top, and we're just gonna find our next stitch. And then we'll find the corresponding one on the other side, insert our hook. Then we'll pull through all of them, yarn over, pull through all of them. So we're making this little seam on the top. So we're gonna, on this side, that next little stitch there, and then we're gonna find the next stitch on that back side, insert our hook, yarn over, pull through all of them, yarn over, pull through. And we're just gonna keep doing that for the whole length of our hat, and then we'll stop on this last chain stitch at the end, or single crochet at the end. So I'll do a few more with you. So we'll find that next stitch, this one, and our next stitch on this side on the back. There we go. We'll yarn over, pull through all of them, yarn over, pull through two. Okay, we'll do a couple more. Find this next stitch, insert our hook, insert in the back side, yarn over, pull through all of them, yarn over, pull through the last two. I'll do one more with you, insert, and then insert two on the other side, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through those two. So we're making that nice little seam to sew up both of the sides of our hats. So I'll meet you on the last stitch at the end here. See you then. All right, so I just finished up my seam and I'm all the way at this last stitch here. As you can see, we created that nice little ridge there. Okay, so we're on this last stitch at the top. So we're gonna find that last little loop on both sides. Yarn over, whoops. Insert, yarn over, pull through both, yarn over, pull through two. And then now we're gonna start closing up the top of our hat. As you can see, we've got this nice little ridge at the top. So what we'll do is we're gonna take a pair of scissors and then pull out maybe 2 feet of yarn, excess yarn, and we're just gonna snip it. So I've got my scissors here, and I'll go ahead and cut that yarn there. And now what we'll do is we'll yarn over, pull through, and then just pull all the way through and tighten up that little knot we made at the top. So to close up the top of our hat, what we're going to be doing is just wrapping our yarn around all these little stitches, and then we'll pull this and it'll cinch it together and close it. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to find this hole right here, yarn over, pull all the way through. You can tighten it a little bit. There's really no like exact science to how you're supposed to close up the top. Just kind of every few stitches, like this one right here, yarn over, pull through all the way, you can cinch it. Next couple stitches, pull all the way through. So just keep going all the way around the top. And you can see we're starting to close this little gap here. we're almost done. It's kind of like a little drawstring bag. Okay, I'm going to do one more. Okay, pull it so we just have that little gap in there, but pretty much we cinched up the whole thing. So your hat should look like that at the top. And then to make this next part easier, I like to fold the bottom of the hat. Okay. So what we're going to do now is sew up the top to kind of close that hole as much as we can. So we're going to take our knitting or our crochet hook, we're going to insert it, and what we're going to do, so here's our hole, and we're just going to insert just kind of like randomly somewhere around this ring here. We'll yarn over and then pull through all the way through. And then tighten. And we just close that circle even more. And then we'll go in from the top, just kind of randomly anywhere, pick up the yarn in the bottom and pull all the way through. Sometimes your yarn will kind of want to separate like this. So we'll pull through and we'll tighten again. And then we'll go in from the bottom. Look at the top. I'm going to do another one right here. Yarn over, pull through. Cinch up the top. Oh, our hole's almost closed at the top. I'm going to do like 2 more stitches just to make sure. So insert from the top. We'll find that yarn, bottom, pull it through. And we'll tighten it. And then our last one, we always want to end on one where the string's going to be inside the hat because we're going to reverse it. And, oh wait, actually no. We'll finish with the last one on the top. So, yeah, we'll end it right there. Actually, I'll do 2 more. So here's our hole right here. I'll do 2 more. Insert, pull through. Tighten, insert, pick up that yarn on the bottom, pull through. So we're going to make our final knot here. And if you wanted to attach like a little puff to the top, like this one, instead of tying off and finishing right here, you can go ahead and take your puff, and usually there's like a little like loop at the bottom here, and you'll just attach it and then you'll tie off at the end. But this hat, we're just going to keep it simple and not do a puff at the top. So to finish off this last knot, to make sure it's super secure, we are just going to pick kind of like a random little knot in here. We'll yarn over, pull through, pull all the way through. We've got that little knot there. We could stop there, but I just like to make sure my hat's extra tight and the knots aren't going to come loose. So I insert again, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Okay, and then I'm just going to tie another 2 or 3 knots right on the top, just kind of like a regular little knot. Pull through. I'll do 1 more just to be safe. Okay, and there you have it. I'm going to go ahead and cut the top. And then I'm going to flip my hat inside out. And then I can go ahead and roll that little cuff at the bottom. And there you go. Your hat is all complete. All right. Pretty cute, pretty simple, works with really any kind of yarn. Great for beginners. So if you have any questions, feel free to comment and I will help you out. All right, happy crocheting!